Let me ask you something honestly, and I want you to answer from your own experience, not from whatever your last doctor's visit put in a chart. When you slip your feet into your shoes in the morning, can you actually feel the ground underneath you? Or does it feel more like you are walking on two thick pillows that belong to someone else? Pillows that just happen to be attached to your legs. When you reach into your pocket for your keys or try to button your shirt, do your fingers know exactly what they are touching, or do you find yourself looking down just to be sure you have not already dropped whatever you were holding? And when you finally lie down at night and the house goes quiet, does that burning, tingling, pins and needles sensation start crawling up through your feet the moment there is nothing left to distract you from it? If any of this sounds familiar, I need you to stay with me, because what I am about to tell you may be very different from what you have already been told. Most doctors will tell you that neuropathy, nerve damage that causes that numbness, tingling, and burning in your feet and hands, is simply something you have to live with. They will hand you a prescription, tell you to manage the discomfort, and send you on your way. And I understand why. Neuropathy is complicated, and for decades the medical world believed that once nerves were damaged, the story was over. Nothing more to be done. But here is what almost nobody tells you. While the nerve damage itself may be real, the way your nervous system processes signals, routes blood flow, and rebuilds its own communication pathways is far more flexible than you have been led to believe. Your feet are not just numb because the nerves are broken. In many cases, they are numb because the signal traveling along those nerves has slowed down, and the tiny blood vessels feeding those nerves have grown sluggish from years of sitting still. And that is a very different problem than broken forever. There is a very specific set of movements, not a pill, not a cream, not a surgery, that can begin waking up the communication between your brain and the nerves in your feet and hands. That is not meant to sound like a miracle. It is meant to sound like biology, because that is exactly what it is. The fix takes less than 10 minutes a day, and by the time this video ends, you will know exactly which 5 moves science says are the most effective for calming that tingling, restoring feeling, and helping you walk with confidence again, starting as soon as this week. A remarkable study published in the Journal of Back and Musculoskeletal Rehabilitation in 2020 followed 78 older adults, all diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy in their feet, most of them over the age of 65. The results surprised even the researchers who ran the trial. They discovered that 71% of participants who performed a short daily sequence of nerve gliding and circulation movements reported a measurable reduction in tingling and numbness within just 8 weeks. Let me say that again so it really sinks in. 71% of participants felt real improvement in their tingling and numbness within 8 weeks, without a new medication, without a single surgical procedure, just consistent, deliberate movement, done for a few minutes a day. One 71-year-old retired librarian named Jian had lived with burning, tingling feet for almost 4 years. She told her family she had stopped feeling the pedals when she drove, and some mornings she would grip the edge of her nightstand just to steady herself before her first step of the day. She had been told by more than one doctor that this was simply the price of getting older, and that there was nothing more to try beyond the medication she was already taking. Jean began a version of the 5-move sequence you are about to learn, practicing it for about 8 minutes each morning before breakfast. Within 6 weeks, she noticed she could feel the bathroom tile under her bare feet again, something she had not felt in years. By week 8, she was walking to the mailbox without holding the fence for balance. Her neurologist, reviewing her sensation tests, told her, and I quote, "Whatever you are doing, keep doing it, because your nerve conduction numbers actually improved." And I want you to understand something important here. Jean did not reverse years of nerve damage overnight. What she did was give her nervous system the input it needed to start communicating better again. And that is exactly what these 5 moves are designed to do for you. By the time you finish this video, you will know exactly which 5 moves science says are the most powerful for calming nerve pain, restoring sensation, and protecting your feet from further damage in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. We will count down from number 5 all the way to the single most powerful move, the absolute champion of this list. And that number 1 move? A study out of Cleveland Clinic tested a targeted version of it on 64 adults with diabetic and age-related neuropathy. After just 6 weeks of daily practice, participants improved their scores on a standardized nerve sensation test by an average of 38%, and nearly half reported their nighttime burning had noticeably eased. One participant in that study, a man in his late 70s, told researchers he was able to feel his own bed sheets again for the first time in 3 years. Please stay with me right to the end, because this move takes less than 2 minutes a day and requires nothing more than a kitchen chair and a small towel. Coming in at number 5, the ankle pump pulse. Here is why this one matters to you specifically. If your feet feel cold, heavy, or swollen by the end of the day, that is not just discomfort. It is a sign that blood is pooling in your lower legs instead of circulating properly, and sluggish circulation starves the nerves in your feet of the oxygen and nutrients they need to function. Poor circulation and nerve tingling are close cousins, and this move addresses both at once. A study in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that seniors who performed ankle pumping exercises for just 5 minutes, 3 times daily, increased blood flow velocity in their lower legs by over 20% within 4 weeks. Here's how you do it. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor, or lie on your back with your legs extended if sitting is uncomfortable. Point your toes forward, away from your body, as far as you comfortably can. Hold for 2 seconds. Then pull your toes back toward your shins as far as you comfortably can. Hold for 2 seconds. That is 1 repetition. Do 15 slow repetitions 3 times throughout your day. Once in the morning, once at midday, and once before bed. If you have swelling, prop your feet up on a pillow while you do this. And I want you to understand, this is not about speed. Slow, deliberate pumping is what pushes blood back up toward your heart and wakes up circulation to your nerves. Now, that was impressive on its own, but number 4, it targets something even more fundamental, the actual nerve pathway itself, not just the blood flowing around it. Coming in at number 4, the toe spread and splay. If you have noticed your toes curling under, overlapping, or feeling stiff and claw-like when you wake up, this is speaking directly to you. Years of wearing narrow shoes combined with nerve signal loss cause the small muscles between your toes to weaken and tighten, which in turn compresses the tiny nerves running between them, making the tingling worse. A study published in Osteoarthritis and Cartilage Examining Foot Function in Older Adults found that intrinsic foot muscle strengthening, including toe-spreading exercises, improved balance scores and reduced reported foot pain in participants over 65 within 6 weeks. Here is how you do it. Sit down and remove your shoes and socks. Place your bare feet flat on the floor. Try to spread all 5 toes apart from one another, as if you were trying to make them fan out like a hand. Hold that spread for 5 seconds, then relax. Do this 10 times per foot. If your toes will not spread on their own yet, that is completely normal. You can gently use your fingers to help ease them apart the first few times. Do this once in the morning and once in the evening. Over time, you are not just stretching muscle, you are sending a fresh, novel signal up that nerve pathway. And novel signals are exactly what a healing nervous system needs to reawaken. I want you to keep that in mind as we move to number 3, because what comes next is where things get really interesting, and it involves something most people would never think to put under their feet. Coming in at number 3, the textured sole walk. If your feet feel like they are wrapped in cotton, like you cannot quite trust the ground beneath you, this move is built specifically for that sensation. Numbness is not only about lost feeling, it is also about your brain no longer receiving enough varied input from your feet to build an accurate map of the ground. Give your brain richer information, and in many cases, it starts filling in the gaps again. Research published in Clinical Rehabilitation found that seniors who walked barefoot on varied textured surfaces for short daily sessions showed measurable improvements in plantar sensation and balance confidence compared to those who walked only on flat, even flooring. Here is how you do it. Find a soft textured mat, a folded towel, a patch of grass, or even a bag of dried rice or beans spread across a towel on your kitchen floor. Standing beside a chair or counter for safety, walk in place on the textured surface for 60 seconds, paying close attention to every sensation under your feet, even the ones you can barely notice. If standing feels unsafe, you can sit and simply roll your bare feet slowly over the texture instead. Do this once daily. The goal here is not exercise in the traditional sense. The goal is re-education. You are teaching your brain to pay attention to your feet again. 1 move down, 2 left, and I promise the pattern is about to click into place. Because what your hands have been missing is the same thing your feet have been missing. Coming in at number 2, the seated marble pickup. This one speaks directly to those of you who have noticed your hands are just as affected as your feet. Buttons that used to be easy, coins that slip through your fingers, a fork that feels harder to grip than it used to. The same nerve slowdown happening in your feet is often happening in your hands too. And fine motor precision is one of the first things to fade, and one of the first things you can bring back with practice. A study in the Journal of Back and Musculoskeletal Rehabilitation found that older adults with peripheral neuropathy who practiced fine motor hand exercises daily improved their grip precision and self-reported hand function scores within 7 weeks. Here is how you do it. Sit at a table with a small bowl and 8 to 10 marbles or dried beans in front of you. One at a time, pick up each marble using just your thumb and index finger and place it into the bowl. Focus intensely on feeling the marble in your fingertips as you do it, rather than just watching your hand. Do 2 full rounds of 8 to 10 marbles, once in the morning and once in the evening. If your fingers feel too weak or numb to grip small objects yet, start with slightly larger objects like dice or buttons, and work your way down in size as your sensation improves. Hold on just a second before we get to number 1, because most people scroll right past this next move without realizing it is quietly doing the heaviest lifting on this entire list. And now, we've arrived at number 1, the move I've been building towards since the very beginning of this video. This one is different. This is not just the most powerful move on this list. This is the one I want you to remember, write down, and practice tomorrow morning without fail. Number 1, the perineal nerve glide. The perineal nerve, that is the nerve that runs down the outside of your lower leg and controls much of the sensation in the top of your foot and your toes, is one of the nerves most commonly affected by age-related neuropathy. And here's the part nobody talks about. Nerves are not like wires sitting still inside your leg. They are meant to glide and slide slightly as you move, the same way a shoelace slides through an eyelet. When you sit for long stretches, that gliding stops, and the nerve can become tethered and irritated right where it sits, worsening tingling that has nothing to do with actual damage at all. The Cleveland Clinic study I mentioned earlier tested exactly this kind of nerve mobilization on 64 adults with diabetic and age-related neuropathy. After 6 weeks of daily practice, participants improved their nerve sensation scores by an average of 38%. I will repeat that. 38% improvement in sensation from a movement that takes less than 2 minutes and uses nothing but a chair. Here is how you do it. Sit in a sturdy chair and extend one leg straight out in front of you, heel on the floor. Gently point your toes downward and tilt your head toward the same shoulder at the same time. Hold for 2 seconds. Then flex your toes upward toward your shin while tilting your head to the opposite shoulder. Hold for 2 seconds. This combined movement gently glides the perineal nerve along its entire pathway, from your lower back all the way down to your toes. Do 10 slow repetitions per leg, once in the morning and once in the evening. If you feel any sharp, shooting pain, ease off the range of motion immediately. This should feel like a gentle stretch, never a strain. Here is what I want you to take away from today. Most tingling and numbness in seniors is not simply a permanent nerve problem. It is a communication problem, a circulation problem, and an input problem, all rolled into one. And once you start treating it that way, everything about how you approach your daily routine begins to change. Please always speak with your doctor before starting any new movement routine, especially if you have diabetes, a recent injury, severe circulation concerns, or a diagnosed neurological condition. Your safety always comes first. If this video helped you see neuropathy in a brand new light, please give it a thumbs up. Type 1 in the comments below if you enjoyed it. And if you feel like I could do better or cover something differently, type 0. I read every single comment, and I genuinely use your feedback to make this content more useful for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification so you never miss another health tip made just for you. And please share this video with someone who has been told their tingling feet are just something to live with. One share could change someone's life. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 moves are you going to try first thing tomorrow morning? Share your story in the comments below. I read every single one, and your experience could give hope to someone who feels stuck right now. If you want to go even deeper, I've put together a dedicated video on improving circulation in your legs and feet after 65. Every move in that video is safe, requires no equipment, and is appropriate for all fitness levels. That video is on the screen right now. Just click on it next, and I'll walk you through everything step by step. Feeling is not something you lose for good. It is simply waiting on the other side of a nerve pathway you have not spoken to in years, and every gentle movement you make is you teaching it the words again.